Hello, I'm Martine, the artist behind Martine's Fine Art. I wanted to draw a Bengalese cat, and the owner of this beauty, Jynx, provided me with a great reference photo. As usual, I created the line drawing using a grid. For iPad users, the app Arty is a great one, and it will save you a bunch of time when you want to enlarge pictures. I made a video in the past how I used two transparent grid sheets, but this was a little different. Maybe I will show you in the next video how you can use the app in combination with the grid sheet. This project is done with polychromos from Faber Castell on Fisher 400, that's a kind of sanded paper, in combination with the brush and pencil painting kit. First I color a base layer with the polychromos, and of course the colors don't have to be exact in the first layer. I can adjust the colors in every layer if I want to. As long as I don't spray with the fixative, it will act like working wet in wet with paint. For example, when I want a grayish green, I can start with green and apply a next light layer of grey colored pencil to get a mixture of both. It's like optically mixing the pigments on the drawing instead of on a palette. You can do that till the tooth gets a little too saturated, and you will notice that by loose particles. That's the moment to spray with the textured fixative first. But because it's highly inefficient to spray small parts of the drawing instead of spraying it at once, it's better to finish a whole first layer on your drawing before spraying. So I start by blocking in shapes, lights and darks. And of course I color and blend in the direction of the fur. But I'm not too busy with individual hairs in the first layers, because I would blend them away with the Pan Pastel tool and the powder blender anyway. The most important thing in these first few layers is to get the darks dark enough. And that requires layering the colored pencil in a few layers and blending with the powder blender. I love to work with the polychromos in this stage because they blend perfectly on the Fisher 400. Alternatives are the Pro Color from Derwent and the Lyra Rembrandts. In next layers, when I don't blend that much anymore, I can use other waxier brands. But for this drawing I've used the polychromos only. Mostly when I switch to another brand in top layers, this will be the Luminance in portraits or the Pablos when I need sharp details. Both lines are from Caran d'Ache. So, when I have that base layer in place, I can move on to the more detailed work. The tricky thing in this drawing was the fact that there were pieces in and out of focus. But of course, the main focus is on the eyes. The nice thing is the fact that you can blend with the Pan Pastel tool to get an out of focus effect very easily. So, then I start adding hairs till I have the darks in place. That's very important. And then I layer midtones and lighter hairs on top of that. Sometimes I repeat that process several times, but I always end with the lightest hairs. As you can see, the drawing is quite big for a colored pencil piece. It took me for about 35 hours to complete, but I never count the hours exactly. I'm not really interested in that fact. Colored pencil is a slow medium, of course, but on sanded paper it's much quicker than on hot press watercolor paper or on drafting film. For bigger pieces it's my preferred surface. In the future I want to experiment more with the airbrush in combination with this system. But last week I was in hospital for serious knee surgery and it will take a few months till I can get out of the living room to get behind my other easel where I can use the airbrush. I don't think my family members would appreciate it when I use the airbrush in the living room, so that has to wait. What I also will do in the future is create a Udemy course on sanded paper about fur or feathers, or both. It's up to you. I was thinking about a nice macaw or a cat, but you can tell me in the reactions what you'd like. I already made a basic course of working on sanded paper using the brush and pencil supplies. So if you're interested, I'll put a link in the video description that will give you a nice discount. And I guess that's it. Never hesitate to contact me if you have questions. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. Hope you enjoyed it. So happy coloring and see you next time. Have a nice day.